Okay, so now we're going to be looking at our second practice problem, which is the anchor base. Okay, there is a drawing guide down here, and we are going to be using that using existing files with drawing borders. Now, I'm not going to probably reference back to it as much as I did in the saddle bracket because we're going to kind of use that very same process. I'll talk it through, but we are going to be utilizing this this anchor base this time. So I'm going to go back to AutoCAD and I'm going to open up my inch template. This is an inch drawing. So I'm going to start a new drawing, my WCTC inch template. I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to set this to my 2-place inch decimals because as I look at the drawing, I know you might not have it right in front of you. It's all 2-place again. So I'm going to do 2-place inch. Okay. And I like having this toolbar here because I can easily change it right there. If you don't have the toolbar, you have to go to annotate and change it up on top here. Okay, so it's just you can do it in either place, same result. Okay, now because we already have the views made up already on the anchor base, okay, this means that we have to insert a block from library, which is our file, which is going to be our anchor base. So we're going to go up to the insert menu or the insert tab, go down to insert here, down to blocks from libraries. Okay. And now our dialog box is going to come up and I'm going to arrow down. You might have things in there now because we didn't exit out of our session and that's okay. But we're going to go down to browse block libraries all the way down. And now you're going to get the opportunity to browse where your file is, not your border. We're doing file first. So I'm going to go to where my file would be. It'd be here, mechanical design. I'm down in tech drafting. And we created the anchor base back in module 3. Okay. So module 3, you're going to find your anchor base up on the top here. Oh, crap. That's okay. That's all right. And I'm going to open mine. Yours is going to have a border around it. I must have saved it on accident when I was redoing it. And that's okay. It happens. So now my anchor base is coming in here. I want to make sure that down on the bottom while I'm waiting for that is that my uniform scale is set to 1. I'm inserting the views, always a scale of 1, always. So I'm going to click on that, click, don't drag, and then I'm going to go in here. Yes, my border's on there. Don't worry. I'm going to get it off. And I'm going to left click here. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to X out of here. You are only going to have your 3 views. And if you select on it, it's going to be 1 solid block. So just select any point there. You're going to go to your home menu and you're going to go down below your eraser and we're going to explode that view. Okay. I need to do explode one more time. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to delete this. So you should have all of your views here. And if you select any one of the lines, now they're individual lines because we exploded it from being a block. Okay. All right. And you only have the views here. Now what we're going to do is we want to pull our border in. All right. Remember, file is always 1 to 1. Now we're going to pull in our border. We're going to go back to insert, come on, insert from blocks from library, arrow down. Okay. And we're going to arrow down again. Now I have a B-size border that I'm pulling in. You might have the B-size border already up, but if you don't, you're going to browse from blocks again. And you're going to go to where your borders are. Okay. And are here. And I'm pulling in a WCTC B border. Okay. Then I'm going to hit open. It's going to populate the first spot here. Again, click, click, don't drag, left click, and I'm going to put it on the end. Now it wants to redefine. You might ask you to do this as well. You can redefine the block. That's totally fine. And you're going to notice that when I want to put my border around this time, it's not big enough. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. So I'm just going to hit escape here. I'm going to hit escape. And I'm going to go down to where it says uniform scale. And I'm going to change 1 to 2. Okay. Enter. And now I'm going to notice that the WCTC B border is still up there. I don't have to reinsert it. I'm going to click on it this time. Redefine the block. That's fine. And now notice it's going to fit around. Okay, so this is one of those instances where I'm going to take note now. I had to pull in my border 2 times to fit around my part. Okay, so I'm going to left click where it fits, and now I'm going to fill in my information. So this will be steel again. Remember, all caps. I take off points if it's not all caps in the title block. My scale this time is 1:2. So whatever you pulled it in at, that number is going to be after the colon. It's kind of like we had to make the border 2 times bigger. So whatever is on there is half the size. Okay. Even though we always draw 1-to-1, don't worry about that. Now this is going to be 9, 15, 20, 25. Drawing number, you can just put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Just put a number in there. Don't put letters. Don't put AnchorBase in. AnchorBase is our part name, and then drawn by initials or first letter, last name. And okay. And now we're going to notice down here, it's all filled in. Now, is there something wrong though with my border? I can X out of my dialog box here. Is there something wrong with my border? Yeah, it's not on the border layer, right? So you're going to notice when I go over the top of my border, it is, it's all one. Do not explode the border. That can remain the same. Actually, it's kind of nice if it does, because then if I want to move the border a little bit, I can, and I don't have to like individually select. So just left click it, go back to the home menu, arrow down, and put it on our border layer. Okay, and then hit escape. All right. All right, now I can do my dimensioning, and I'm going to use the dimensioning that we have here on our drawing guide. Okay, the drawing guides are going to be out there for all of your assignments as well. Okay, just so that you know. So first one, I'm going to do my top view again. You're going to notice I have linears, diameter, and radius. Okay, now notice that there's 2 by in front of our radius and our radiuses and our diameters. I'll show you how to add those in. So let's do those first, just because we haven't done those yet. And I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to first do my diameter. So I'm going to do a 2 by the diameter, and I'm going to pull it down and to the right. So I'm going to select my diameter dimension. I'm going to click the circle, and I'm going to pull away. Okay. Now I notice a couple things already, but we can easily update this in just a bit. I'm going to pull it away down here. Now, first of all, if I look at my text, this text that I just put in is much smaller, isn't it? Okay, much smaller. So I need to change the text size. What do you also notice about my dimension? Not on the dimension layer. So easily fixed. I can simply go left click on that dimension, go up to my layers, put it on the dimension layer. If I hit escape here, it goes back to object layer because that was the current layer before. Make sure you change it to the dimension layer so that the rest of them are on there. If you go through and you dimension all of your dimensions on the object line layer, you'll just have to go back and individually select them and put them on. So the faster you notice it, the better, okay? Or before. Now let's get our dimension correct, okay? Remember, we pulled our border in 2 times, right? So let's go to our dimension style manager. We're going to go to modify, keep it on the 2 place. And now we're going to go to that fit tab, and we want to determine what that overall scale is going to be. Okay. So what do you think I should put here? 0.5, 1, or 2? Well, 1 isn't right, right? We know 1 isn't right because it's too small. Let's try 2. Let's put 2 in here. Okay. Let's hit 2. We're going to hit okay. We're going to set current, and we're going to hit okay. Look at that. It made it bigger, and let's compare it. It looks like it's about the same size as what's in my title block, right? Let's say you put in 0.5 and it got way small. Well, then you know you got to put in 2. It's going to be either 2 or 0.5 when you bring your border in at 2. Does that make sense to everybody? So if I bring my border in at 2, looks like I'm going to set my fit scale to 2. All right, and it automatically updates it. And what's nice is if you don't notice that right away and you put a bunch of dimensions on and you set it as current, it's going to update all of them at once. So don't worry about that, okay? Okay, so now I have to put 2 by in front of that, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to double click on it, and it goes into a text editing mode. Do you see that? So it's blinking in the front right now. If you need to change that, you can arrow left or right to put it at the front or at the back. We want it at the front. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 and by. Make sure that your X is uppercase, all letters our uppercase on a drawing, and then put a space in between, and then just simply click off of it. And it's going to say 2 by diameter of 0.5 or 0.75. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to hit escape here. I'm going to go out. Now I'm going to add my radius. I'm going to add this one first. So I'm going to do my radius dimension. I'm going to click on there and notice that it does that extension line. I'll fix that in just a bit. So I'm going to pull this off down here for a second, and I can always change the place. I'm going to double click on this, make sure I'm blinking at the front, 2 by space. Make sure the X is uppercase. And then I'm going to left click off. I'm going to hit escape. And now I'm going to left click on that to activate it, right click, go down to properties, and then I'm going to go down to lines and arrows, and I'm going to turn my extension line off. Okay. And I'm going to hit the X, and then I'm going to left click, and I'm going to maybe position this, I don't know, maybe a little closer so it looks kind of nice. Okay. Something like that. Then I'm going to do that same thing up over here. Okay. I've got a radius dimension. Now, if you put all your dimensions in the exact same places that I do, totally fine. Okay. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to double click on it, make sure I'm flashing in front, 2X, oopsie, 2X, uppercase space, and then now, there you go. Okay, so it's that easy. Any questions? I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm not going to call it the AnchorBase. I'm going to put it in my Module 5 drawing guides. This is going to be AnchorBase drawing. Oopsie. Just so that you have the file separate than the drawing. When we create these going forward, you're going to put them all on the same thing. It's just that we had Module 3 where we started it, and then Module 5 where we're ending it. From now on, you're going to start and end it in the same file. You're not going to have separate files for things. Okay. So then now we want to put our linear dimensions on here. So I'm going to arrow down, go to linear dimensions, and here now, when we have a radius like this, we need to select the end of the flat part. Okay, left click there, and then I'm going to do this one here. It is going to be closer and it's going to look close, but that's okay. All right, it is what it is. If you wanted to, you could select it and move it out along that line if you wanted to. If you're bothered by it, I'm not. I'm not terribly bothered by it. Then I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to do here and here. And I'm going to pull that out further because then I need to grab from the endpoint to the center line, the 0.75. Then I need to grab that same thing from the bottom to the center point and 0.75 there. Okay. Then I've got another one from the left side to the center here. Okay. Now, something you're going to notice on the drawing that we have here, I don't have them connected from the first time that I did it, but on my drawing underneath here, you're going to notice I do have a center line between there. Okay. Whenever you have features that are in line with one another, it is good practice to extend those center lines between. That way, you know that they're, when we put this dimension here, it counts for both of them. Does that make sense to everybody? So we can go back here and we can simply go to our center line layer, and we can add a line from the endpoint here to the endpoint here. Now, if we end up not seeing the difference, we know what to do, right? We're not afraid of that. We're going to left click on it. Now, the other center lines look good. I think just because this one is short, it's not showing it. So I'm going to left click it. I'm going to right click and just do the properties on that one line. And line type scale, I'm going to change that to 0.5. And it looks like it corrected it. Okay. It has that dash in the middle now. Okay. All right. So make sure that you see a dash there. And if you have to change that line type scale, go ahead. All right, so that looks like those are all the dimensions I need in my top view. Now I'm going to go down here to my front view. So if I go underneath, my front view has the radius, the diameter. Neither one of those have a 2x or anything in front of them. My 3-inch dimension, and then my 5-inch. So I'm going to go back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to do my linear dimension first from here to the endpoint of my, and you'll notice that, oh, I forgot to switch it back from center line. I did this on purpose to the dimension line. No worries. I just left click on it. I go up to my dimension, my layers, I put it on the dimension line, hit escape, but then make sure you set the dimension line or the dimension layer as current. Okay, so that's there. Then I've got my vertical goes here. Oh, look at that. See, I didn't get on my, it's a 3.08. I'm like, that doesn't look right. I must have grabbed on accident a little low. So make sure you have your object snaps on and you don't grab off of the part. So I want to be on endpoint and endpoint. Now it's 3.0. Okay. Then I'm going to put my diameter dimension in place. And again, by using the diameter and the radius dimensions, it'll automatically put them in line with the center if you extend. There we go. So good. And then lastly, in my right side view, I've got the width here. Okay. And then I have the thickness of the foot. I don't exactly like where that is, so I'm just going to move it straight down there. There we go. And again, you can move those around by grabbing the grips and kind of, moving them wherever you feel like you like them. And it looks like I have all my dimensions on, I think. Okay. Once you have all your dimensions on, File, Save, if you've already saved it as the AnchorBase drawing. Okay. And we're ready to get it to the PDF form so that we can upload it to our practice problems. So to do that, we're going to go up to File, Plot, change to our printer to AutoCAD PDF general documentation. Like I said, that's the one that I just find most people it works for. Make sure your fit to paper works or is set up, okay? And then we're going to change the display plot area from display to window. We're going to click the very outside corner of our border. Don't click and drag, and then click the bottom right-hand corner. Always do a preview. Looks good. X out of the preview. And then you can hit OK. And then now it's going to add dash model to the directory where you have your drawing. So just double check it's where you want to put it. And then you're going to hit save. I put mine in module 5 because that's the module we're going to be working with here, or that we are working with. Then you can X out of that preview. And then you are all set to upload it to the practice problems for module 5. So if we go back to module 5 here, we've then now done the demos for the 2 practice problems. So we're going to go back a layer to our module 5. Zoom down here. And you're going to notice for practice problems, you're going to upload those 2 PDFs, okay? I guess I didn't put that specifically, but the 2 PDFs that we just created with the dimensions and the borders, and then each one of those is worth 10 points, so it'll be 20 points for practice problems there. Okay? So, any questions right now?
For the way that we're doing it, if we make changes to the drawing itself, will it update to the drawing that we're making here with the building?
So the question you have is, will it update and will the changes that we just made with the border and the dimensions go back to the module 3 file? No, because what we did was the module 3 file is, I presume that you called it a different name, right? It was just saddle bracket or anchor base, right? Add drawing to it so you keep them separate just because, okay? In the event, if I'm like, I don't have your module 3 drawings, okay? And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but they've disappeared. And I need to ask you for those again, at least then you have them, okay, without the dimensions on them. Yeah.
I don't answer it, but like, so like the regular file without like the borders or anything. Like,
Right.
if I make changes to that, will it like update to like?
Question, yeah. Okay. So the question is, if you make changes to the original file where you made the 3 views to the saddle bracket, like, oh, I missed a hidden line and I added in there, it will not. It will not update to the drawing that we just created. And it won't, because AutoCAD is not a parametric software. If you do that in a software like SolidWorks, which will be next in the program, and you make a change to the model, that's what we call it instead of a drawing, it's a model, and then you create a drawing from that model, those are connected. And that's one of the huge advantages of a parametric software like SolidWorks or Creo, or there's other ones out there. Okay. So good question. Yes. And that's where AutoCAD has a lot of good stuff. And they're still the best dimensioning. They're still the best, best control over dimensioning, the best DXF file making, which is used a lot in machine tools and in manufacturing. And they're also legacy. A lot of companies, if they started in CAD, they started with AutoCAD before parametric software was available. So even if you end up working for a company that uses parametric software, a lot of times AutoCAD will be like, in the mix with certain things that are done. So that's why we always learn AutoCAD first, because it is a popular industry software. And then we move to the parametrics a little bit later. It also gives us an opportunity, like I said earlier, when we're practicing dimensioning on AutoCAD files, we have to physically place every one of these dimensions and put them where they're supposed to be to the proper standard, the rules of the proper standard. In parametric softwares, I'm saying this in quotes, for the purpose of, they'll technically dimension for you, but they don't dimension to the proper rules. So you end up fixing everything on the drawing anyway. It can lay it out nicely, and the line work and stuff is good, but many of the dimensions are not. And then you have to know the dimensioning rules by doing it manually like we did here before we allow the software to, think it's smart enough, but we have to be able to correct it. Okay. So things like that. So yes, it's not a parametric software. Any other questions? Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop our recording here. Make sure you upload these to your practice problems, and then we'll look at the assignment next.